In 2015, the most interesting phenomenon relating to digital communication is the emergence in the past few years of new mobile messaging applications like WhatsApp, Kik, Line, or Snapchat. More messages are now sent through WhatsApp than by SMS. North America is behind on this phenomenon, but we already see that this model offers great potential to users. This quote by Seb Provenchar, along with the presentation by Tom Liakis, has given me a place to jump off of to talk about a couple of trends that I'm starting to leverage in communication with our audience. Working for a startup requires flexibility and quick pivots away from tactics and messaging that don't work to tactics and messaging that do. There's a lot of testing involved, and we subscribe to the idea that has been made popular by Tim Ferriss, Noah Kagan, and other prominent marketers called the Pareto principle. It states that 20% of the work done is responsible for 80% of the results, and to focus your efforts on the type of work that is producing the results. We have found that the tactics that are most effective for us are personalized messaging and one-to-one communication, complemented by building grassroots movements through events and tapping into causes. The leveraging of the mobile messaging app is a clear path to make use of any of these trends. According to The Atlantic, people always have to chat with each other, and while messaging apps rise and fall quickly, when was the last time you AIM'd someone, they also offer an enduring source of engagement. And if you can lock in users, lock in enough of people's real-life social networks, that there is little reason to stray from the app. With this kind of clear need to chat with one another, is it any wonder that customized, personalized one-to-one communication shows a level of effectiveness that is trending not only within our community, but consistently across the digital landscape? We are in a position within the cycle of communication where the need to have more personal communication is more prevalent with both brands and our networks. People want to feel as though the brand is created just for them and that the brand is listening to them. Every brand is created for specific people, but connecting with them is difficult to do. It is more difficult still to connect with people that have a need for your product or service as the landscape has become inundated. So the question becomes, how do we maximize the ability to communicate more effectively with the right audience? Now, some of the platforms that we use to communicate have become crowded and exhausting, but the mobile messaging applications are different, and they give us a much more direct route to the right individuals and groups of people. Brands that are taking advantage of these platforms to give audience content that is valuable to them will be much more successful. There is a great example of this on Slack. According to Buffer, the communities that are created on Slack have a much less crowded environment and more engaged users. Slack drives high engagement because it is a real-time chat application, so people are more likely to check in more frequently. Now, many marketers look to communicate en masse, and it can make things quicker and may seem to make things easier. And it's not to say that the use of social media, PPC, and organic aren't effective. They can be. It is very clear, however, that the more specific you get in the targeting of your audiences, the better your results are. The messaging and the content must be tailored to have maximum impact. I have found that tapping into cultural movements and sentiments of discontent has worked well. However, after research that I've done here on mobile messaging apps, I think we've left some money on the table. Let me explain. The issue I'm referring to is a trademark battle that we ended up in with Facebook. Let's not tell Sylvan about this. We were able to get intense media coverage through this battle, including a Wall Street Journal article and a letter from the governor of Vermont to Mark Zuckerberg. Public support was very strong for us. However, I missed out on the opportunity to create channels and groups within these messaging apps to continue to keep the fire burning. A continued dialogue could have turned into a continued fight against Facebook. Not by us, but by a group of stakeholders, perhaps ending the contention altogether. It is clear that these applications can be incredibly valuable to the spread of causes, values, and grassroots movements. The increased access to communication and information is a trend that continues to pick up momentum as these messaging apps are becoming more widely adopted and commercialized. According to TechCrunch, messaging apps are becoming the new platform, And because they are able to integrate with third-party services from within the app, it is possible to communicate easily with individuals and groups across multiple platforms from one application. With both KeekApp and Snapchat making use of advertising by promoting messages, the audience on both of these platforms have become more accessible to marketers. The ability within KeekApp to have customers opt in and choose to directly connect and talk to brands means that they are more likely to be engaged. They've invested time in this connection, and Snapchat has done the same thing with the ability to follow brands. The investment will cause them to have a deeper emotional connection with the brand. If this is nurtured, it can create layers of internal triggers that will have your audience coming back for more. This is well detailed by Nir Eyal in his book, Hooked. Getting users into the Hooked model pays dividends, but it does not happen quickly. And we are constantly looking for new ways to trigger our users into investing in the concepts that we have developed. There's no question that mobile messaging gives us a more direct route to both trigger and reward action. Each user is not created equal. A user who believes in the cause of your brand and connects with you because of an emotional or internal trigger is more valuable to you. A contact that you develop with a personal connection will be more likely to think of you over a competitor. The trend towards using more personal tools makes perfect sense as more and more users are looking to be in a quieter space. A space with content served not by an algorithm, but by brands, causes, and people that have a genuine connection with them.